1996, the Aboriginal Embassy Victoria put in a public notice. They claimed all the waterways of Victoria. So this here is part of the waterways of Victoria, and it is claimed as a sacred site by the Aboriginal Embassy Victoria. We're gonna, this here for our future mob, we want to make it a nice place for all black fellas to come and white fellas to come and experience a little bit of spirituality that people are looking for. Where Bunjil is there, that's there for the high diving board, and this here was the low diving board, where they had races in that here, water race, swimming events here. So this here was a springboard, but it's a real hassle for people. It's a danger. The danger people can trip over, and yeah, we've got to get rid of it. It's heritage listed, but they heritage listed it after we claimed it, you know. So we're going to get the sledgehammer on there, and we're going to bust it out of the way because it is a danger. We're hoping to do it today, but today has been cancelled, but in the very near future we will be breaking this up here, and I will be getting into trouble again by breaking the law, the heritage listing law, so, and I plead no jurisdiction.
Welcome to Melbourne. I'm Karen Minicon, and I'm catching up with Uncle Choco in Fitzroy with my camera today. Lovely old fella he is, and everyone here loves and respects him. So I thought I'd get down here so he could share some stories with us today.
Yeah.
Dear, when you got time, I want this man to sing his own tribal song, and I'll play.
I haven't got a tribal song.
What about that song you and I sung down at, down there, down towards Torquay there? What was that? You teaching me that song that time, remember?
I remember. Hello, brother. How are you? Hey.
Remember Lester Green?
Yeah.
And we used to go down there in Narana. We used to go down there.
Narana, yeah.
And we sung it there that day. You were teaching me. Coolawalla, Coolawa, Coolawa. That's something like that was in the song.
That's
the one.
Choo. In the knee, Kapowana, in the knee, Kapowana. Yeah, hula.
So these angelic-like voices belong to Uncle Sid, who's playing the guitar, and the other is Uncle Choco Edwards. Mob here in the community have told me a few rumours about this old fella, and they just blew me away. Maybe we can get him to tell us what they are.
Let's go to the Fitzroy flat and it gets me back. Don't shoot me in the back or stab me in the back. I'm just going down to the flat so you can finish off my story. And then we'll get to NIVTV before I know it. Hallelujah, brother. Well, people think that because I was in the Merchant Navy and I used to have a drink at the Painters and Dockers, people thought that I was one of the big knobs in the Painters and Dockers, and it's been said that I was a mercenary. I'd been to South Africa. I reckon I've been to, I joined the Foreign Legion. That's how the story goes. So my reputation precedes me somehow, of being the correctionalised, institutionalised. I say I'm a correctionalised, government-made man. 10 years of institutions, the next 13 years in and out of prison. I'm a correctionalised, government-made man, sir. It's very thankful, sir. So my reputation precedes me, as they say, but as I said to Kevin Rudd, I'm the man they couldn't shoot electrocute, but it's a bit too early these days, It's still early days. There's still time to be for it to happen. Or whatever, whatever it might be. But but I'm still here, you know, and I've survived it all, and I'm here by the grace of the Great Spirit, and we shall continue the story a little bit later as we walk around Fitzroy here, and
This fella is a walking adventure, true. 5-minute walk from the punters and straight away, coppers. But this time we stopped to help out a sister girl. She was just having a quiet one at what is known to the community as The Spot. The Spot is an old meeting place where you can find the people you're looking for or find out what generally is going on in the community. But a few years ago, the City Council introduced a law called Local Law 8 to stop public drinking. But some of our mob believe that it was to target us drinking at The Spot. Yes, we may have had a few, and we may get somewhat rowdy at times, but so do other people who drink at these nice cafes and pubs and bars here. It was also here way before Fitzroy became trendy, as Smith Street is the street that divides Fitzroy and Collingwood and where the estates that housed a lot of blackfellas. So it's at the heart of it all and where we can gather. So Uncle thought that he might talk to the cops about no jurisdiction and that Australia is an illegal government. Go, Uncle. But we're still heading to the Fitzroy Flats. Come on, Unc, let's go. See you, sis. So a 15-minute walk from the punters to the flats took just 2 hours. But we're finally here. And we're actually going to go to the cop shop today, by the way. Uncle is going to be charged today. He'll tell you more a bit about it. But the thing is, we don't know if he's going to be locked up or what's going to happen. And he's the only person I know that won't waver his position about his belief and will stand firm even if it means going to jail.
hello, my brother. How are you?
Yeah, you
How
are you, mate?
Good
Sorry.
No, you're all right, mate. You are very colourful, my rainbow man.
Good to see you. Hey, good Al, Big Al, how are you?
It's very quiet and alert.
The quiet one.
This is my very good friend. Been here for a long time, and I'm sure Jack knows me reasonably well. That he could say something that a lot of things that you could say something about me that you know that I don't know. I forget. You know, I'm burned out, mate.
Well, I'm not in the habit of outing you.
You're not in that. You're not in that. You're not. No.
I don't want to out you, Choco.
No.
But sitting here with you just reminds me of the... Hello, love, how are you? A long time no see. Good.
Yeah, fine.
Well, he has a reputation for walking into a hotel or any place where there are a lot of white people. He has this inner drive, this urge to inform and educate people at the bar, behind the bar, you know, people, anybody who will listen, and most of them don't want to listen. And so he gets into a lot of difficulties on public transport. He's so enthused with putting out the message sometimes. You know, it's instant street or the public transport theatre. Choco likes to get into it like that and inform and educate, never allowing people to forget that Australia's got an Indigenous population and that we still are somehow, whatever means and by whatever methods that we put it out across there, you know, whether it's on a public transport or in a hotel, you know, we waggle a finger at white society, informing them that there's an Aboriginal, you know, this is Aboriginal land. There are Aboriginal people living on the continent still, and we've never lost sight of sovereignty. That's what Choco's behind.
See ya.
See you later. See you later, mate. Thank you. Catch you later, mate.
Oh, deadly. See, you never know who you're going to meet here. Uncle, can you tell us what happened before we go to the cop shop?
Oh, it was about a month ago, and I usually have a drink of a Saturday afternoon at the Punters Palace in Smith Street, Fitzroy, and it's very rarely that I catch a cab, but when I do, I find it very difficult to get a lift by cab. They check me up and down, and they pass me by, and I got sick of it. I went through the rubbish bin. I found a few stubbies, and the next one that came along and refused me a ride, I let them have the stubby. But this time today that I got to go in front of the police is I got a lift with this cab after throwing bottles at the other ones, and he's driving me home. He's talking on the phone. He's talking to his wife. He told me to be quiet, and I told him that he can't drive and talk on the phone. Anyhow, he pulls up in Clifton Hill, tells me to get out of the cab. I'm a bit sad. I ring up the police and I said, this man's kicking me out of his cab. And he said, well, it's his right. Anyhow, so I get out of the cab. I stretched the door. I slammed it. I'm walking down the street and I hear him yell out something. And when I look around, he gave me the middle finger. So I walked back with either him getting a bashing or whatever. I found this big rock and I'm going back to the cab. So I picked it up and I threw it at the cab. It hit the middle of the door frame. It smashed the front window, bounced out. I picked it up again and I threw it through the back window and I walked away saying, racism will not be tolerated. And a month later, I get a call from the police. They must have traced me call. They rang me up. And so today I have to face the police about smashing the windows. And I'm pleading no jurisdiction. Because at this time in my life, I've known a lot more before. I thought it was the norm for blackfellas to be bashed up and not put in prison for a whole lot of crimes that didn't do. But now I'm standing up to them that I realise that they have got no jurisdiction. They are an illegal government and they got no jurisdiction. They never got consent. We've never ceded our sovereignty. We did not give them consent, and they are an illegal government. I'm telling my mob, they get in any trouble to plead no jurisdiction. They are an illegal government. You cannot come to a country, commit genocide and take over and be sovereign over our sovereignty, which is illegal. And so I'll go down to the cop shop today. I'll plead no jurisdiction. As I said earlier, that they still believe that they got the jurisdiction, but really they haven't, and they know it. No, they don't really know it. They don't really understand, and but they will understand when more blackfellas go to court and they plead no jurisdiction. They'll hold up the judicial system until eventually it might lead to treaty or whatever, and the crowd goes ballistic when we talk about no jurisdiction. All right.
If you're not a citizen or permanent resident of Australia, you have the right to communicate with or attempt to communicate with the consular office of the country which you are a citizen. Do you understand these rights? Do you wish to exercise any of these rights?
Not at the moment.
Just go inside, mate. Get it all sorted.
Get it all sorted out.
The more stuff we can leave with your friend here.
Yeah.
It's a bit easier.
Yeah.
So you got phones and that on you and that? You up in Dalesford, were you?
Mount Wellington.
How was it up there?
Mount